Hello, my name is Dan Knorr, President and CEO of Functional Pathways, and I would like to take a little bit of time today to talk to you about culture and company culture. I have always felt that Functional Pathways has had a great company culture, not only because of the people in the organization itself, but also because we're a very value-driven company. Years ago, we came up with our 6 core values. We talk about the core values all the time, and we try to preach them in the field as often as we can. But over the years, we have found out that there's a couple of issues as far as the core values are concerned. The first issue is that typically people memorize the company values. Now, of course, we want them to live the company values every day, but whenever we end up going to a facility, typically what happens is the rehab manager tells the employees, corporate is coming to the facility today, make sure you memorize the company values in case somebody asks you about those values. And then typically end up forgetting those values shortly after we leave. So that's one problem with the company values. Second problem with the company values is that they're really not actionable statements. They're more like nouns. And because of that, they're open to interpretation from different people at different times. So the question is, now that we've identified these two issues with the company values, how do we resolve that? I mean, wouldn't it be great if we didn't have to memorize the company values whenever a corporate person is coming, and that we are actually living those values every day? Well, this is a time for me to go ahead and introduce you to the Functional Pathways fundamentals. So what we have done is we have developed 21 fundamentals that support the values of the company that are actually actionable statements. And if you haven't received one yet, you shortly will. You will receive a card from Functional Pathways along with a letter from me. And it has all of the 21 fundamentals as well as a brief description of each one of those fundamentals. And, there are things like deliver outstanding results, embrace change, or show gratitude and appreciation. So now that we have these 21 fundamentals, the question is, what are we going to do with them? Well, we're going to do two things as far as a company is concerned with these fundamentals. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to introduce one of them every week, starting from the first one, going for 21 weeks. Now, in introducing that fundamental, you're going to receive a short video from the company that's going to explain what is the fundamental of the week with a brief description of that fundamental. And so we'll focus on that fundamental for that week. The second thing that we're going to do is we're going to make it a ritual to talk about that fundamental during that week. So each time we start a meeting, whether it is in the field, whether it is with your manager, your regional person, or even here at the corporate office, we're going to go ahead and start that meeting just like you would start a national anthem at a ball game with discussing the fundamental. We'll talk about the fundamental and then briefly see, what does this fundamental mean to you? Or does somebody have an example of somebody in the company using that fundamental at that time? Now, we're very sensitive to time in the facility, and the one thing that we don't want to do is take up any more time that you have. We know that everyone is busy, so you're not supposed to, and we don't want you to, spend the entire meeting talking about the fundamental. It's simply a way to start the meeting. We would like you to spend no more than 1 to 2 minutes on that fundamental. If you want to discuss it later on, you can set aside time to go ahead and do that. But this is just a way to keep that fundamental, right at the forefront as we are going through our week, so that we are thinking about it and thinking about how can we perform under that fundamental. Now, there are going to be additional things that we're going to do with the fundamentals as well. We're going to incorporate them into our performance reviews and also our hiring practices, because these fundamentals are fundamental to the success of the company. And like I said, if you're actually following the behaviors of the fundamentals, you will be living the values of the company. So we are very excited about rolling out the fundamentals for you to get to learn the fundamentals and see what that means. Now you may ask yourself, what's going to happen after the first 21 weeks? Well, we're going to repeat it for the next 21 weeks. And then we will repeat the fundamentals the next 21 weeks after that. So we will continue to go on with the fundamentals indefinitely, and that way they will become ingrained in our culture, and you won't have to memorize them. You won't have to memorize the values. And we also won't have this issue of not having something that is actionable, that the fundamentals, like I said, are behaviors, are actions that we will be following every single day. So again, thank you for your time. Thank you for what you do for our patients and our customers, and I'm very excited about going down this road with you, and you will be hearing more from me shortly. So once again, thanks.